Despite what you may have heard, a 1,500-foot wide asteroid named Bennu is not going to devastate our planet on September 25, 2135. However, it's going to be real close. It should miss us by about 65,000 miles. If Bennu were to hit us, the consequences would be ugly. The 40 million ton space rock would unleash a force equal to 80,000 atomic bombs, like the ones dropped on Hiroshima. It would be enough to flatten buildings for dozens of miles in all directions. Bennu is the most dangerous asteroid on the planetary science watch list. However, there are close to 2,000 others currently listed as potentially hazardous. To size up the risk, NASA is sending a spacecraft to explore Bennu. The probe, shaped like an 8-foot cube with solar panel wings, launched in September 2016 and will arrive at the space rock this August. When it does, it will begin collecting surface samples to investigate the composition of such asteroids. Rest assured, we are taking Planet Safely more serious these days. A planetary defense system is currently being developed. In fact, the next step in planetary defense is already underway at Johns Hopkins University's Applied Physics Lab. There, a team is developing a mission called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, which is scheduled to launch around 2020.
We are down here in the science wing with Mr. Jones, and we were just talking. There are two terms that we hear all the time, asteroids and
meteors.
What are the difference between the two?
Okay, an asteroid is a very large rock. A meteoroid is what hits the ground. Most of the time they burn up in the atmosphere, but the asteroid is one that we worry about impacting Earth because they are somewhere between 1,200 kilometers up to 1,500 kilometers wide.
Okay, today's story was focused on a large asteroid that scientists are looking out at, actually out almost 100, a little over 100 years. They're looking at a couple, they're tracking several.
2169 is supposed to be an asteroid that's going to be what they call a near-Earth object. So what they're doing is trying to come up with a plan to repel this asteroid before it even comes anywhere close to the Earth. But it is deemed to be a extinction type of asteroid. If it hits the Earth, it would be mass extinction.
Okay, they're also trying to create some sort of defense system. And I think it's called Hammer or something like that.
Hammer.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Hammer is where they are going to take a nuclear weapon and try to make it explode in the vicinity of that asteroid to deflect it. Or they are going to actually put rockets on the asteroid and cause the asteroid to move by pushing it. Okay, now you got to remember, if it's 1,000 or 100,000 miles out when they do this, then every 1 degree it misses the Earth by 100 degrees as far as the distance.
So trying to change the actual path of the asteroid itself.
Because we don't want to blow it up. If you blow it up, then you have multiple rocks that are going to come and hit the Earth. And then you have, besides one impact area, you have multiple impact areas.
Now, the asteroid that we believe caused the Ice Age, how big was that one?
The one that called the KT event, that's the one of the extinction of the dinosaurs. Okay, that was I think it was 1.6 miles wide. So when you think about it, 1.6 miles isn't that much, but if you take an object traveling at 26,000 feet per second, that is a lot of inertia, potential energy, and when it strikes the ground, it caused a lot of devastation.
So roughly an asteroid, that would have been about the size of then 2 square city blocks,
yes,
striking this entire Earth, which is massive, causing an entire extinction,
yes,
and the Ice Age. So it's a big deal.
Yes, because it's the main thing when it hits, it's going to cause earthquakes, volcanic eruption. Now you have volcanic ash that's going to get into the atmosphere, and you have dust and debris. Well, if that blocks the sunlight, then it kills all of our vegetation. The herbivores are going to die next, and then all the omnivores and carnivores will start to die.
So obviously we're worried about large objects striking the Earth, but from what you've just told us, even small objects striking the Earth is not a very good scenario.
No, not under the right circumstances. Even a small meteorite, 1 foot in diameter, can totally tear up a car. I mean, destroy a car, okay? And one thing about meteorites is some of them are actually worth a lot of money. So if you're having to walk on one and you know there's iron core, and if it happened to come from Mars or a distant planet, they could be up in between $5 to $10 million.
Okay, so the next segment we're going to have to ask Mr. Jones how to go about finding those to make a little bit of extra money on the side, right, Trent?
Yes.
All right. So, well, that's a lot of really cool information. I also understand that we have the technology, we're possessing the technology to actually send man-made probes to these asteroids and land on them to study them years and years out.
Yes, yes. In fact, there's an ongoing mission now where they're wanting to go to these asteroids and actually start mining them for rare earth elements such as titanium, platinum, gold, silver. So that's the next evolution. And the next evolution of mankind and space travel is actually piggybacking off of one of these asteroids. And if they contain a lot of hydrogen, then there you go, you got fuel. So it's a docking station where you can have fuel.